This is my whole thing, Scott. And I may have said this in a different way, but the Super Bowl all but confirmed it. Dak Prescott haters not gonna like this. I just think we're, the era of offense, the analytical, the numbers, the John Park and all them. I think that was cool for its time, bro. I think we're going back to defense, guy. I think we're going back to defense. If you got a high-flying offense in the regular season, cool. And mind you do have to have offense in the postseason. But defense seems to be the glue, Scott. This is how I've seen playoff games happen. Maybe not all of them, but most of them, and especially the Super Bowl. Your offense, especially versus good defenses, versus the best teams in the world, right? If you're in the playoffs, that's where you at versus the best teams. Your offense is bound to look goofy at some point. I watched both these offenses look a certain kind of way for a whole half. And I just imagine, boy, Cowboy fans wouldn't dare let us be trash for a half offensively. They'll never let that happen. Chiefs didn't even have points at the end of the half. What they had, like what, 3 points? It was like 10-3 or something like that, Scott?
Something like that, yeah.
If we only had that amount of points at the end of a half, Cowboy fans lose their mind. But what I've learned about playoff games and Super Bowl games is your offense is bound to stall. It's gonna stall. The best offenses in this postseason and in the Super Bowl, the two best ones, they stalled. But that defense bought them some time. Now, Scott, what would have happened if we'd have came into the third quarter and the 49ers had 27 points on the board to the Chiefs 3? It would have been a whole nother football game. Pat would start pressing. He'll start throwing bad picks. He threw a bad pick anyway, but he'll start pressing
right out of half too,
out the gate, and he'll look similar. Prescott haters gonna hate this, but he'll look similar to how Ford looked, right? I ain't saying Ford is Mahomes, but I'm saying is you need a defense that's not gonna die versus a top tier offense to buy yourself some time. I know what Dak can do. I know what Dak can do over a series of quarters. But hey, if you got to win a game and only score 20-something points, Scott, and only score 17 points, I think you have to put yourself in position to do that, right? So if I'm assuming that this offense comes back the way it is, we'll probably add a couple of running backs, maybe a young receiver. We do address offensive line. I don't know. We'll see. Free agency happens, sure. Scott, I want to put pieces on defense. That's just where Voch is right now. I want to improve every facet of that defense that I possibly can. Fucking Randy Gregory got a sack, Scott. You know what I'm saying? Just watching that game, Randy Gregory, the 9th pass rush off the field, contributed in a way, right? That's because the 49ers just didn't sit on their hands. They say, man, we got goofy-ass Cleveland Farrell. Can we fix this? Can we upgrade this? Let's let Randy Gregory be the 5th rusher. Chase Young got busy. Let's just add Chase Young. Yo, this second round pick ain't gonna help us in the Super Bowl, dog. This second round pick ain't gonna help us. This second round pick ain't even a dude yet. You see what I'm saying, Scott? Mm-hmm. This second round pick only turns into a dude in the offseason. If I got a Super Bowl team, let's just get Chase Young for cheap. Cowboys don't hit on those anyway, right? And even Hargrave in the offseason, right? They just add these dudes, Scott, both sides, defensively made the difference. Chris Jones made the difference. And man, Scott, I'm up here like, can I get better than Dorrance Armstrong? You know what I'm saying? Can I get better at linebacker? Of course, we know we can, right? Gilmore, we're gonna have a conversation about that when it comes time for the come time or whatever. Can we get better at safety? Like, what we gonna even do with safety? Dog, I want to go all in on defense. I need my offense to be comfortable. That's just where I'm at now. We thought, and I'm just gonna say for Voch right now, we thought that, hey, look, put it on Dak's back, give the offense what it needs, and let the defense be comfortable. Let the defense pass rush with the lead. Let the defense be comfortable. Sky, I've changed my tune, man, because I've seen what defense has done in the Super Bowl. And both those defenses really bought their offense's time. Neither one of these teams got blown out at the half. None of these teams got blown out by the third quarter. Defensively, it came down to the end. And you gave Brock Purdy what he needed, and he scored 3. But you also gave Pat what he needed, and they scored 6. Scott, where you at on team building, and what do you feel about what I'm saying defensively? Should we just build defense or even look at offense, just draft-wise, free agent? Go ahead.
To do that, you have to do that through free agency.
Sure.
So and cheap little promo here. Tomorrow, I'm actually starting on my free agency primer, and he brought up the position linebacker, and I'm starting with linebacker. I think you're going to have to address defense, like impact players right now in free agency for the most part, and continue to obviously grab guys in the draft that can help in a role capacity. But you're not really leaning on. This is a 1-year thing, so I don't think there's not many defenders in the draft. I think where the Cowboys are picking come in day one and going to have the Micah Parsons type impact where he had that, right? I just don't know that that's going to happen right away. You still have to draft them, build it, develop or whatever. But if you want to get these type of guys, you got to do it through free agency. For his question though, because he brought up Jackson Powers Johnson in a linebacker round one. I don't think it's I'm taking Powers Johnson. You know, I understand you're talking about, you know, yes, I'm all for building up this defense or whatever. I think a lot of that also is scheme and coaching as well. And then we'll get to Zimmer in a little bit. But you also have a huge deficiency at center.
Yeah.
And you know what else we saw in the postseason? Ragnow, Humphreys, Linderbaum, you know, like all these quality centers, you know, at the head of really good offenses, right? And run games, et cetera. So, yeah, for his question in particular, I'm taking Jackson Powers Johnson if he's there, because I think I can grab me a linebacker to develop after the first round. No doubt about it, in my opinion.
And it's almost like, Sky, think about this. If you would think about where you want your long-term help to come from, I would say I would want that to come from offense, right? So that's where you would draft guys. But if we're looking to make the defense better right now, it almost has to be free agency, right?
Gotta be.
Like, you know, Sky, I thought about this, right? Look, I was at Dojo thinking about this. I was like, hey man, we might as well go to free agency and burn all that money up, because these last couple of draft classes ain't like we paying a whole bunch of people from them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this ain't like the CeeDee Lamb, Trey Diggs class where, all right, it's a lot of money coming from that draft class. Man, mine's in school making, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, we don't. That's a ways to go there. We don't know just yet.
You know, even the class before that is probably what?
No, the class before that, yes. Tyler Smith, Deron Bland, possibly. We'll see about Jake. That one could be something, maybe. But that's forget 2027.
Man,
we need 2024.
Scott, I'm trying to go get Chris Jones, Scott. I'm trying to go get one. I'm trying to go get a linebacker, Scott. I'm trying to empty out all the bank. I'm trying to imp it out.
And I'm using these picks too. I think this is the perfect year to be like, I'll trade a first or a second or a third to go get me an impact guy. I know they don't like to go above the fifth. They'll trade them fifth and sixth. And I know everybody, whoa, wait a minute, you can't trade all your picks. Shit.
Yeah, I trade all of them. Look, they can have the first. If it's the right dude, they can have that first. You know what I'm saying? But
you don't want to keep doing the same song and dance, then you keep trading your 6th and 5th round picks, and you keep drafting these young guys and expecting them to come in here and putting all the pressure on them to be as good as some of these dudes in free agency. You do it.
Yeah. Go ahead. And man, Scott, I ain't never been defense wins championships guy. I thought that was old man rhetoric, but I played as an offensive dude. I coached as an offensive dude, put up points, spread offense guy. That's who I've been my whole life, Scott. But man, I'm just watching. I'm like, man, give Zimmer what he need. You remember Dan Quinn first came in, and we just kept giving him what he need. It was like, man, Dan Quinn must be the head coach. He got everything. Let's just do that with Zim. Let's do that again, but with Zim and with free agents. Give Zim what he wants. Give him what he wants. Yeah. If you can make my D, I don't want to say Teflon, right? Because Teflon is just some Dan Quinn shit. I don't want to say Teflon no more. Right?
You give him what he needs to operate his system. I don't necessarily know that. I feel like Dan Quinn was just like, I think I could do something with that guy. Come on through. That line, that safety that could come down and do something. Yeah, bring him on through. I didn't feel like he really had a foundation. I feel like he had a bunch of players that had some talent that he said, you know what, I could do something with a 6'4", 215-pound safety. Mm-hmm. I could do something with this. I don't know what he is, defensive tackle, defensive end guy. I could do something. Put on about 15 pounds. I could do, and he just would just throw it out there. And there was this quote that Zim had when he got hired by Minnesota where he was like, you know, I'm going to build a foundation, right? We're going to work on fundamentals because there's teams out there that make big plays, big splash plays, but they aren't fundamentally sound. And then once it comes time for crunch time, they're not able to make the plays. I felt like he was talking about the Cowboys defense 10 years in the future. Yeah. Because that's exactly what happened.
KDB.